All right, today we are joined by Ruby, one of our candidates for the Billboard at Gila Ridge, as well as her counselor, Mr. Marone, and we're going to get right to it. Ruby, what was it like when you found out that you were going to be representing Gila Ridge on the 2021 Billboard?
It was very exciting. I was shocked because all these years I've drove by and seen all these students that go on the board, and it's it's pretty cool that I'm going to be up there and see myself up there soon.
What was your family's reaction when you told them?
They were shocked as well. They had no idea that I was, I guess you could say, liked by my counselor, by people. They were surprised. They're like, "No way."
Well, I could definitely say you're very well liked by your administrators on your campus as well as your counselor, and that's a great segue for Mr. Marone. What reasons did you see in nominating Ruby for the Billboard this year?
So I've known Ruby since her freshman year. She's been in our Youth for Christ club, and I've always believed in her. I always thought she was a leader inside the classroom and outside the classroom, and that shows just kind of her developing over the last 4 years. Since she stepped foot on our campus, she's always gone full throttle, looking at different ways to improve her academic success. She's been a part of the nursing program. One of her goals after high school is to become a nurse, and I've always thought that she's shown her leadership. She articulates herself well in the classroom. She's a born leader outside the classroom as well. Students, teachers, and her peers, everybody that interacts with Ruby, they always find her articulate. They always find her very kind. She's the kind of kid that you just wish your kids grow up to be like. So I've always thought Ruby's just an awesome person inside and out.
Well, see, Ruby, you are very well liked by your counselor and others at Gila Ridge. Can you talk about what got you involved in leadership in general, why that was of value for you?
Leadership was a very important thing for me ever since middle school. I did actually elementary school. I was in the student council in elementary school, and then I continued it in middle school. And so I thought, why not and go for it in high school? And it's just a great class to be in and a great elective. And I just know that they look at student council and they think those are the people that we want to be like and we want to lead the school. And I like to lead others, and I like to help people that want to lead others as well. And it's a great class to be a part of. And I'm glad that I was a part of it the past 4 years.
It sounds like it's important for you to set an example for others, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you were doing the nursing program at Gila Ridge.
Yes.
You were involved in clubs. You play sports, right? You're in tennis currently. You're in student council. How did you balance all of this stuff when you're trying to go to school and do all that too?
Sometimes it was difficult, but I pulled through. A lot of times I worked with my teachers or my counselors. If I was ever feeling stressed or overwhelmed, I would talk to them. And they're very understanding that I'm still just a student. I'm 17 years old. I do sometimes my parents tell me that I overwhelm myself and pack my plate with too many things, but I wouldn't want it any other way. If I didn't have all these clubs or things that I was a part of, I don't know what I would do. I would be so sad with that.
So
Youth Nice and student council and nursing and sports.
this might be a really difficult question considering all the things that you just named, but when you think about the time at Gila Ridge, maybe if you get 5 or 10 years from now and you're thinking about the time, is there something or a memory or a moment or something like that that you're going to look back at really fondly or want to tell your family about?
That is a hard question. I think definitely not saying this just because Mr. Marone is next to me, but Youth for Christ was a big part of high school, and it was a really cool experience because not a lot of students get the opportunity to worship or pray in school, and I had the opportunity, and it was really cool. It was really cool to interact with other students that I had never met before. I didn't even know knew Jesus in school, so I really appreciated getting the time to meet people and talk to them about that. And I appreciate Miss Marone for introducing me to the club and inviting me as well.
Cool. So what is next for you? Mr. Marone mentioned being a nurse. You got pinned for your CNA, correct?
Yes.
So what's next in the fall for you after you graduate in May?
So after I graduate, I want to start working. Since I have my CNA, I can go work in the nursing homes in Yuma. But I will be paying the fee to get my LNA. So the difference between a CNA and an LNA is CNAs can only work in nursing homes and LNAs can work at the hospital. So I plan, once I turn 18, I'll be able to work at YRMC. And then I want to continue my education at AWC and get my prerequisites done. And then I want to apply to nursing schools.
Awesome. So what do you envision? I know I have a family member who does neonatal nursing. There's all kinds of different areas that you can kind of focus on. Is there something specific that you're interested in for your career?
That is actually also what I'm interested in, neonatal
Cool.
nursing in the NICU. I know someone as well who works here at YMC in the NICU, and that's always fascinated me.
Awesome. Well, I can tell with your outgoing nature and your compassion and all of that, that you have great attributes for being a nurse in the future. So I am proud to hear a little bit about your story. And one last question for you, Mr. Marone. I'm going to try to make sure that you guys have to juggle the volumes on your computer again. When you hear students talk about all the things that they're involved with, and then see them have the success that Ruby had as a student in her 4 years at Gila Ridge, how does that make you feel as a counselor? And is that something that sort of motivates you in your job?
It's awesome. It's awesome to see Ruby meet her goals that she set forth. And we see a lot of students, like any student, they hit their peaks and valleys, right? And Ruby's no different. I'm sure she's hit some peaks and valleys throughout her career or throughout her academic career at Gila Ridge. But the cool thing about Ruby is that she remains consistent even through those peaks and valleys. She reaches out to teachers, counselors, anyone that can help her. She's always found those lifesavers that she can reach on and lean on to make her academic success or whatever her goals are, and see those to fruition. So I'm just proud of Ruby. I'm happy for her parents. I'm excited to see how she develops over the next few years. Ruby's those kind of students that you just keep in touch with, just because that they're going to make a change. They're world changers. So just excited for Ruby, happy for her, and just glad to see her dreams come true.
Well, I am happy to have talked to you for a few minutes here today, Ruby. And after we get off of the recording, I'll show you what the billboard looks like. And if I hadn't said it already, congratulations again on being selected and for an amazing 4 years at Gila Ridge.